Welcome back to Whisper Hex. Before we begin, I need you to understand something. This isn't just a story. It's a warning, because there are places in this world where silence isn't empty. It's active. And if you've ever stepped inside a cathedral alone, you already know what I mean. That heavy stillness. That unnatural quiet. That feeling like something is listening, even when you haven't made a sound. Now, imagine bringing a microphone into that space, pressing record, and speaking. That's where the mistake begins. It started with a simple idea. A solo audio explorer wanted to capture perfect silence. No city noise. No wind. No interference. Just pure, uninterrupted emptiness. So he chose an abandoned cathedral. Centuries old. Stone walls. High Gothic arches stretching into darkness. No electricity, no visitors, no sound. At least that's what he thought. The moment he stepped inside, something felt wrong. Not frightening, not dramatic, just off. The air was colder than outside, not naturally cold. But still, heavy, like it hadn't moved in years. He clapped once. The sound didn't echo the way he expected. It returned too slowly, too stretched, as if the building was holding on to it before letting it go. He set up his equipment, tripod, microphone, digital recorder, everything calibrated, everything clean. Then he hit record. And for the first 5 minutes, nothing happened. No sound, just silence. Perfect. Exactly what he wanted. Then he made the mistake. He spoke. Just one sentence. Testing. 1, 2. The echo came back. Normal, delayed, predictable. But then something else followed. A second echo, softer, longer, warped, like the words had been pulled apart and stretched thin. He froze, waited, nothing else, just silence again. So he tried again, this time slower. This place is empty, the first echo returned, then the second. But now there was something different. The second echo didn't match. It sounded like his voice, but aged, deeper, almost tired. Like something had tried to copy him, but got it wrong. Now here's where things shift. Because what he was experiencing wasn't just echo, it was resonance layering. In massive stone structures, sound doesn't just bounce. It circulates, it compresses. It lingers inside the architecture. The arches, the columns, the vaulted ceilings, they don't release sound immediately, they trap it, hold it. Let it overlap with new frequencies, and over time, those layers begin interacting. Think of it like this. You speak once. The sound travels, reflects, returns. But before it fully fades, you speak again. Now two signals exist at once. They collide, merge, distort, multiply. And inside a cathedral, those collisions don't just fade away. They build. The explorer didn't know this, so he kept talking. Short phrases, testing acoustics, repeating words. Each time, the echoes became less predictable, less accurate, more interpretive. Then he noticed something terrifying. The building wasn't just repeating him anymore. It was responding out of rhythm. He would speak and the reply would come seconds later. Not as an echo, but as something structured. Something that sounded like it was trying to form meaning. He checked his recorder. Everything was being captured. Every layer, every distortion, every unnatural delay. So he put on headphones to listen in real time. And that's when it became undeniable. Inside the headphones, he wasn't alone. The sound was subtle at first, a faint low-frequency hum. Barely audible, but constant. Like breathing, slow, deep, rhythmic. And it wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from everywhere. Then came the whispers. Not clear words. Fragments. Half-formed syllables. Pieces of sound that almost made sense. Like language trying to rebuild itself from broken pieces. And the worst part? Some of them matched his voice. But others didn't, because at some point, the cathedral stopped using his input. And it started generating its own. This is where science ends. And something else begins. Because limestone isn't just solid rock. It's porous. It holds microscopic air pockets. And those pockets can trap vibration for long periods of time. In a place where thousands of voices have echoed for centuries, Those vibrations don't disappear. They accumulate, layer after layer, generation after generation, until the structure itself becomes a storage system, a memory. And when you introduce new sound into that system, you don't just create an echo, you trigger everything that came before it. The explorer didn't realize this, not yet, so he kept recording, kept listening, kept speaking, until the moment everything changed. He said one final sentence, "Is anyone here?" This time, there was no immediate echo, just silence, heavy, pressing, waiting. Then very softly something answered. Here, not an echo, not a distortion, a reply, and it didn't sound like him anymore. At that moment, the temperature dropped, not gradually, instantly. His breath became visible. The air thickened, and the silence was no longer empty. It felt occupied. He pulled off his headphones, but the sound didn't stop, because now he could hear it without them. Whispers all around him, from the walls, from the ceiling, from the space between the arches. And every whisper carried a piece of his voice, mixed with something older, something that had been waiting. That's when he realized the truth. He hadn't just recorded the cathedral, he had activated it. And the more he spoke, the more it learned. The more it learned, the closer it came to sounding human. And once it sounded human, it didn't need him anymore. When we left off, the explorer had just heard it, a voice. Not an echo, not a distortion. A reply! And the moment that voice formed, everything inside the cathedral changed. The silence wasn't silent anymore. It had texture, weight, movement, like the air itself was shifting around him. He stood completely still, trying to listen, trying to understand. But the more he focused, the worse it became, because the whispers were multiplying. Not louder, closer, layered over each other. Some fast, some slow. Some stretched so thin they sounded almost mechanical. Others so close to human, they felt intentional. He turned slowly, scanning the empty space. No movement, no figures, no source. Just endless stone and sound that had no origin. Then his recorder spiked, a sudden burst of activity. The waveform jumped violently, even though he hadn't spoken, even though he hadn't moved. The system was picking up something strong, something structured, so he did what no one should ever do in that place. He spoke again. "Who's there?" Silence. Then a response, immediate, clear, closer than before. "There." Same word, but wrong tone, wrong rhythm, wrong intention. It wasn't answering him. It was mirroring him. And that's when the realization hit. This wasn't a voice in the cathedral. The cathedral itself was becoming the voice. Every surface, every arch, every stone, acting together. Like a single system, learning, adapting, repeating. He stepped back. But the sound didn't stay where it was. It followed. Not physically. Not like footsteps, but spatially. The direction of the sound shifted with him, as if it was tracking his position, recentering itself around him. That's when the pressure started. In his ears, in his chest, a low-frequency vibration, so deep it wasn't sound anymore. It was force. His breathing became uneven, not from fear, from interference. Like the rhythm of his lungs was being disrupted, matched, copied, then slightly altered, and then he heard it. His own voice, not speaking, not recorded, not played back. Breathing, out of sync with him, one breath late, then two, then perfectly aligned. He froze. Because now there were two versions of him in that space, one inside his body, and one inside the cathedral. This is what researchers later called acoustic mimic convergence. The point where a structure doesn't just repeat sound, it reconstructs identity through frequency. The cathedral had enough input, enough pattern, enough data. It didn't need him to speak anymore. It could continue on its own. The recorder captured something impossible. Two breathing patterns, identical, but slightly offset, like an echo that had learned to delay itself intentionally. Then the second breath stopped, and the first one, his real one, continued. For a moment, everything went quiet again. Too quiet. Then the cathedral spoke, not repeating, not copying, Not distorting, speaking. Stay. One word, perfectly formed. Perfectly human. He dropped the recorder, ran, but the cathedral didn't stay behind. Because once the structure learns your voice, it doesn't need your presence, it carries you with it. The hallway stretched, just like before, longer than it should be. The exit too far away, the door smaller than he remembered. And behind him, the voice followed. Stay closer now. Not echoing, advancing, each repetition more accurate, more natural, more alive. By the time he reached the door, it sounded exactly like him. Same tone, same breath, same pacing. Like he was chasing his own voice out of the building. He forced the door open, fell into the outside air. And instantly everything stopped. No whispers, no pressure, no second breath. Just wind, real sound. He didn't go back, but the recording survived. When analyzed later, they found something terrifying. The final seconds didn't just contain two voices. They contained a third, fainter, deeper, older. A voice that didn't belong to him, and didn't come from the present. Which means the cathedral wasn't just mimicking him, it was building something, layer by layer, voice by voice, generation by generation. And every person who speaks inside it adds to that structure, adds to that voice. Until one day, it won't need new input anymore. It will already have enough. So here's the final warning. If you ever enter an empty cathedral alone, and you feel that silence pressing in, don't test it, don't whisper, don't record. Because the moment you give it your voice, you're not just leaving with an echo, you're leaving something behind. And one day, when someone else walks into that space, they might hear you calling back. If this unsettled you, subscribe and comment below.